Ciao. Welcome to another episode of 8.25 FM. I'm Jason Menezes and I'm from Sacred Heart Church, Andheri East. I'm also the ex-president of the DYC. December 8th, 2019, the day I received confirmation. For most, this would be a step deeper into faith. For me, it was my final step out. At this point, I wanted nothing to do with the church. No more God, no more religion, no more masses. I was about to enter my full-fledged atheist phase. That same year, I was studying commerce and I got into really bad company. The kind of company I wouldn't want my younger siblings to be around. My life took a turn and I was only spiraling downwards. New hookups every month. Cigarettes, alcohol and substances became my companion. They were my coping mechanism. I was having the time of my life, or so I thought. The more I surrounded myself with the wrong people, the more things escalated. Then came lockdown. I stopped consuming vices, but then came my two new addictions, PUBG and my new girlfriend. I was spending 18 hours a day either talking to her or playing PUBG because I wanted to make an esports career in PUBG. This went on for 2 years. Now comes December 2021, the season of love, joy and laughter, Christmas season. But for me, it was a season of sorrow, sadness and heartbreak. I lost two of the things that I thought defined me the most. My esports career came to an end and my girlfriend of 2 years had just cheated on me. It was devastating. I was in a ditch and I had no way to climb out. But I knew I had to take back control over my own life. So I decided to start working on myself. I started with fitness, learning skills that make money, and improving my communication. I finally thought that, okay, I'm going out of this ditch. But then life throws another punch. Now comes 19th May 2022, a day I will never forget. I was driving back home with my friends. We had gone out to party. For the record, I was completely sober and I was driving back home because I had 4 people in the car with me. But I was reckless. I was driving recklessly. I was speeding, I was going at around 140 kilometers per hour and I lost control of the car. I went to overtake on a turn. White lights from another car hit my eyes and I lost control of the car. The car spun 180 degrees and it banged into a red electric box, the ones that are there on the road. That electric box did not blast, surprisingly. As you can see, the most damage is done near the driver's seat. The girl behind me fractured her collarbone. The girl next to her got a cut near her eye. The boy next to that girl sprained his leg. And the guy in front wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so he went and banged his head higher. So he was also bleeding. But the most amount of damage was done near my side. But for me, not a single scratch. Not one scratch on me, even though the most damage was done. When we went to the police station to file the complaint and all, they asked me, how am I still alive? Insurance officers couldn't believe how am I still alive. My own parents were like, wait, how is this possible? That's when I knew God saved me. A week after the accident, my parents invited my parachute director to our house. It was the end of his term, but I didn't really know him because I never went to church. And then I told him about this experience. And he was like, shocked. He told me that, Jason, God has saved you for a reason. You have to find out that reason. And he invited me to join the parachute group as he was leaving. I'm like, okay, I'll join. I joined there and I started being very active in church because I knew that God had saved me. People from my church seen my commitment and decided that, okay, we can send him now to DYC to attend this program called CLAIM. DYC became my place of transformation. Whatever I learned at DYC, I applied in the PYC. I found myself growing, not just as a member, but as a leader. I set my eyes on a new goal, to become the president of the DYC. It was not an easy goal, but I knew it would take work and I knew I had it in me. So then I stood for elections and I was blessed enough to become the president of the DYC. On the election day, we had a talk by Terence Lewis, where he spoke about going out of your comfort zone and trying new things. That's when I decided that, okay, I need to try something new that is way out of my comfort zone. I knew that content was something that I really wanted to do. So I did that. I started a podcast. Through the podcast, I got to meet some really incredible people, learn from minds that are much more smarter than mine. Through that, I built my confidence. And now I've started creating solo content and building a business on top of that. Now you may be asking me, what's the point of this, Jason? Why are you telling me all this? I share with you this story because looking back, all the dots connect. If I never went through that breakup of being cheated on, I would never become the person that I'm becoming today. If I never lost that esports career, I wouldn't find the career that I'm actually enjoying. If I wouldn't have crashed that car, I wouldn't join the parachute group and become the president of the DYC. If I didn't attend leadership day, I wouldn't have heard the talk from Terence Lewis, where he told to go out of your comfort zone, and I wouldn't have started my podcast. Because when you look back, all the dots connect. There are some things in my life that I still don't know the purpose of, but I know looking forward, the dots are going to connect. You might be facing some challenge today. Maybe you have just had a breakup. Maybe you have lost a loved one. Maybe you're not getting a job. Maybe something else. Maybe you're facing a big problem that you can't talk about publicly. But know that it's all God's plan. He will put you through the worst for you to become the best version of yourself. There is no light without dark. When you ask God for strength, He will give you a challenge to build it. When you ask God for wisdom, He will make sure you make a mistake to learn from it. God will give you a test and you have to turn it into a testimony. He will put you in a mess and you have to turn it into your message. Everything good or bad that happens in your life is part of God's plan, and His plan never fails. The reason I decided to shoot this episode in Rome is because this place resonates with me. Because Rome wasn't built in a day. They had ups and they had downs. But now you can see the finished image. Whatever happens, happens for a reason, and God's plan never fails. Grazie. See you in the next episode. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Little more down. You might be thinking, wow, Jason, that's inspiring. But what if my Indian accent came out?
What am I doing?
What if? Okay. The reason I decided to shoot this episode in Rome is because it is one of my core life lessons that Rome wasn't built in a day. There were ups and downs throughout the way, but now you see what it is.
I'm saying na, if it goes then it looks good, na? Camera rolling. Action.
Maybe you're facing a big problem that you can't talk about today, but know that it's all God's will. He will put you through the worst to make... let me take that again. Wait, no.